look at some of the wins that we've had, look at some of the game series that we've had lately. Protoss actually doing really, really well. And of course, we had Next Genius winning BlizzCon as well. You saw those games. There was some very interesting play going out there. Well, I guess you more than saw them for sure. But maybe you can comment on that a little bit, because I've heard these comments, oh, Protoss is the new Zerg, blah, 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 QQ, this, that, et cetera, et cetera. We've all heard it. We've all read it on the forums. But then all of a sudden we have this turn of events, a Protoss wins. We have another tournament that a Protoss wins. That's no longer the case anymore. I mean, the Protoss are pretty comfortable right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Protosses are increasingly becoming comfortable, and I think the reason that Protosses are liking the way their gameplay feels so much is because there's always a next step. Let's take Protoss versus Terran. The Protoss opens up with some gateway units, and then gets a robotics facility. Okay, he can make some observers, maybe even some immortals. Then he can eventually get those colossi that are such huge power units. And then what does he go for? Zealots with leg speed. And then he can get Templar and Dark Templar. And even then, you haven't even seen carriers or motherships come into play that often. And there's still next steps that Protosses have left unexplored. So there's a whole lot of variety that Protosses can go for. But I mean, Terran play. You go Marines, Marauders, Vikings, Medevacs against Protoss. You kind of keep going Marines, Marauders, Vikings, Medevacs, and players haven't explored well. I could get maybe Thors in a late game, or maybe a lot of tanks. Battle cruisers are a pretty legit late game choice, but it's again a little bit of a struggle, and I think that's why a lot of Protosses, excuse me, are coming into a lot of victories, is because there's more drillability of their race where they can dig deep and figure out better strategies.
I actually honestly believe that of all the races that are present, the Protoss is the most undiscovered. It's just constantly all of the unique things and strategies that we've seen, whether that be the using the warp gate mechanics, etc. Phenomenal. So I mean, we could sit here and talk about this all day. A little mini weapon of choice, I guess, with day 9. But yeah, I guess Starcraft is a cool game. There we go.
Yeah, you know what? Starcraft's pretty nifty, pretty fantastic. And I want to just say one last thing. I would like to give another extra special congratulations to LZ Gamer, who, again, very strong player. He is our third-place champion today, and, of course, Machine, our 4th place. I'm delighted both of those two players performed very well. Top 4 in a 500-plus single elimination bracket where they had a series of monster opponents throughout the tournament, made 4th and 3rd. And, again, really, really happy for Machine there, because he has had some brutal seedings.
Yeah, it's been a little rough for Machine as of late, and of course Sir Scooch showing his team pride there. Speaking of team pride, a personal thanks to, of course, EvilGeniuses for putting the Masters Cup series on, and MSI Notebook for sponsoring it and giving us the opportunity to even do this notebook battle, if you will. Also, all the communities and all of the different gaming sites and media outlets that have been watching this entire weekend. It's been a lot of fun up here, day 9. Thank you, for being there too.
For being the host.
We still got, of course, Walking Dead coming up later, but also thanks to, I know, thanks to Slasher and Fish Sticks for a lot of the promotion. ESS, Team Liquid, Gosu Gamers, Reddit, Something Awful, Penny Arcade, NeoGaf. I mean, I don't even. There's so many guys. You guys.
And you know who hasn't gotten enough thanks right now?
Who?
The big DJ Wheat to my right.
Thanks.
Of course, you can get all of DJ Wheat's good stuff at djwheat.blip.tv, djwheat.tv,
yes,
twitter.com/DJ Wheat. Just type in DJ Wheat, you will find him. He is the man to cast with. I literally just stop talking whenever I want. You just pick it up a nanosecond later.
Yes, you do a good job, brother. Boom.
Respect.
Yeah, nicely done. Thank you, Day. Of course, check out the shows. Weapon of Choice, live on 3, Epileptic Gaming.
No doubt.
A lot of people. I don't know if you got a chance to see this, but a lot of people really, really liked the Epileptic Gaming that I did with my 5-year-old son, DJ Mini Wheats.
I even tuned in for that. He was so cute. He was literally this big.
Yeah.
This pumpkin is larger than Wheat's son.
He is going to be reviewing his next game very soon, Kirby's Epic Yarn. And it's going to be awesome. So he's finally getting his own review segments. I know you guys are excited about that episode, so he's coming back, making our turn. DJWheat.tv, check that out. Also, this guy right here, Sean Day 9 Plot. Funny story about this guy. I used to work with his brother, Nick, Tasteless Plot.
I love this story.
Worked with him all over. I one tournament, I don't even remember where it was, but Tasteless like, Wheat, you got to come meet my brother.
I like your Nick impersonation.
You've got to come meet my brother. He's right over there. He's the big tall nerd over there. Let's go say hi. And I remember meeting Sean for the first time, and I actually told the story on one of my shows. I was like, man, Sean is like this awesome Muppet.
I am.
Which is so funny that you have those pictures with the Muppets from Sesame Street.
Yeah, where I'm just basically going.
Yeah. There you go.
That's my job of the plot impersonation.
I was not wrong.
Now, for the record, that was way back when I had the long hair that actually was quite floppy. It did look like packed yarn.
Yeah.
So I did have a very Muppet-like appearance. Since then, I have grown more manly and actually gained a significant amount of weight. So now I just
It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us.
Now, for any of you who are curious, Idra is warming up right now, just getting everything set up because, again, settings are so key in this sort of tournament environment. And one thing that I think has really, really helped show the skill of these players is the fact that they are not playing in an uncomfortable tournament situation where it might be too hot or it might be too cold or they're playing in some hard wooden chair because they ran out of money at the tournament or something like that. No, they're playing in their home environments where they have all the practice and all the setup that they need. They're in their comfort zone. They're alone. They can stay focused. We've really seen the caliber of play jump up a notch.
And looking forward to this Notebook matchup. Again, it is between, if you've just joined us, EG Idra and LiquidHuck. Both of these guys going to, again, I believe, start to make a presence. Of course, Greg in Korea as of late, doing a lot of competitions out there in the GSL. Got the top 16 this season. And I believe, I don't know if there's true confirmation, but that Huck is about ready to go that route too, represent Liquid and the foreigner scene over there in Korea. So either way, this is such a special treat to see these two guys battle it out. History or not, just two great players. An awesome matchup, PvZ. So excited.
Now, let's talk a little bit about Idra. Well, of course, he is setting up rather than just ejecting him into the game with the wrong mouse settings. One thing to note about Idra is that I think Idra gets a bad rap for his playstyle. Let's ignore his behavior. Let's ignore the traditional lack of good game ever. There is a lot of, I would say, incorrect assumptions about his playstyle. In Brood War, Starcraft 1, what game is that? The old ancient game from whence many of us came. That game, Idra did generally do almost the same style of play in major tournaments that people saw. He would just play a style that was resilient and relied more on good unit control, making a lot of stuff, having good macro, watching the mini-map, these sorts of skills. But in StarCraft 2, people want to call Idra a robot, and I think that is wrong. That's wrong, Lee. It bothers me. Well, because the thing about Idra is that he mass games a lot and experiments quite a bit. The difference between Idra and your average bear is that when Idra picks a strategy to experiment with, he'll play 50 games with it, learn everything he can from it, and then move on to the next strategy. And as we saw at MLG, he was doing a variety of responses in many situations, but he always seemed to have this magic knowledge, this magic timing behind all his builds, and that is something that can only come from a lot of practice and a lot of clever thinking. So, I mean, though people like to call him a monotonous robotic player, really he probably has far more styles than almost every player who even entered this tournament and can play them absolutely to perfection.
And I think that's really a great point there, Day. I mean, when you consider the amount of tournament experience that he has too, and not only in a North American capacity, he has been to Korea. He has experienced some of the pressure and some of the stress of playing in those environments. Doing very well in the GSL as well. I disagree with that too. I mean, I really like Idra both as a guy and a personality and as a player. And to me, he actually is a lot more exciting than I think people give him credit for. You know, partially just because I think he is skill matching some of the great talent out there. And I mean, like what you said, you know, being able to regurgitate a lot of what you learn in this game is really success. I mean, how many Korean Brood War players were actually just like Idra in his style?
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing that people just do not accept, because if they see a limited amount of games, and that anytime anyone beats Idra, he was trying to get away with as many drones as possible.
Exactly.
And then they did one push that Idra wasn't really prepared for, and then he loses, and then Idra has that replay, or the opponent has that replay uploaded to every major site, and the players are like, look at Greg, he's not hard to beat. And, well, yeah, in practice, maybe it's really easy to beat Idra, but when you're in tournament, you got to do something creative.
Yeah, and of course, on the flip side, Huk is a player who